Alright, we're back for round two with the Ad Nauseam deck. Let's go ahead and kick it off. I lost the die roll again, unfortunately. We have mulligan to 6. I think our 7 was 2 Spear Guides, no land. Sorry about that. Our 6 is pretty good. We have half the combo, some dig spells, and a mana accelerator. We don't need this on life, so I believe we're going to put that on bottom. Can double check. Yes, did put that on bottom. Got it. Alright, let's go. Windswept Heath can mean a number of things. Initial thoughts are Malira combo. Perhaps just some weird deck. No one drop is kind of weird out of a lot of those decks because they have Noble Hierarch and such. Alright, drew a Pentad Prism, not the greatest draw. It does help us get a little bit of mana. We find Flooded Strand, that's okay. We do need at least the one more mana source to be able to combo off with Lotus Bloom and Simian Spirit Guide. If he's playing Malira combo, I kind of want the Slaughter Pact, but I believe I bottomed the Pact just to try to dig for Ad Nauseam, but we'll keep the Temple because it can help us dig. And suspend Lotus Bloom. Alright. Fetches a Godless Shrine. And fetches a Forest. Alright. Grim Flare, so probably just some Abzan mid-range deck. So, go ahead and tick down our Lotus, and I have the option here to Temple or Serum Visions first. I think it's correct to Temple first, since if it's bad we can put it on bottom and we don't have to draw it off the Serum Visions. Yeah, so Mystical Teachings, that's actually a really close one. Because he has Grim Flare, I think we kind of need to naturally draw our Ad Nauseam, because it's like Mystical Teachings can be a redundant copy of Angel's Grace if we need it to be, like if we get hit with a Thoughtseize. But we're going to be under a lot of pressure here probably. He didn't open up with a discard and he played a Flare on 2. So that probably means he just has like some more creatures and removal in hand. So we're going to be under a clock and hopefully not under a lot of discard pressure. So I end up bottoming it. I'm not sure if that was right. Serum Visions hits a Peer Through Depths, which is a little bit better than the Mystical Teachings here. The odds of us hitting the Ad Nauseam are decently high, but that also just gives us a Simian Spirit Guide too, which is nice, so that we have the extra free mana. Actually, no, I don't think I need it because of the Lotus Bloom. Let's see what I do. I'm pretty sure that I bottom the Spirit Guide and top the Peer Through Depths, because I do want to just cast the Peer Through Depths. And in case I miss on the Pier, I don't really want to draw a Spirit Guide because I have the Lotus Bloom, so apologies for that. A lot of scrying in this deck. A lot of decisions to make. Alright, well, he hits us. I'm expecting just like a Lingering Souls post-combat. He actually ends up hitting a Lingering Souls off of his Grim Flare cast, Tarmogoyf, and Battle Spell Bomb. Not really all that exciting. It doesn't do a lot against this deck. It will pump his Flare up to a 4/4 though, so he has, and it'll pump his Tarmogoyf. So he's got a decent clock on us now. Basically going to be attacking for 8, maybe 9 next turn. Alright, so our Lotus Bloom's still 1 tick away. Now I have the option here to fetch main, cast Pier and Serum Visions if I miss on the Pier. I believe that is what I do. I go for Plains. Even though we've already scryed some stuff to the bottom, I don't want to shock just in case my life total ends up mattering later. So we do main phase the fetch before we cast the Ad Nauseam, or sorry, before we cast the Peer Through Depths to look for the Ad Nauseam. Now we miss, but we do hit another Peer Through Depths, as well as 2 more dig spells. Now, I was trying to figure out the math in my head, which is kind of difficult for me because I'm stupid. But basically, we're going to have 6 mana next turn, 7 with a Spirit Guide. Lets me Peer and cast Ad Nauseam. If we draw land naturally for the turn, we'll be able to Peer for Ad Nauseam, Simian Spirit Guide, and Angel's Grace all in the same turn. The same happens if I draw a Spirit Guide. So we take Peer over either of the other ones. Just think that's a little bit better. Alright, plus our Serum Visions can just draw us into a land if we need it, hopefully. So we do draw a Spirit Guide. We don't hit the card we need, so we just bottom those two, and just hope that next turn is good enough with Peer Through Depths #2, digging for the Ad Nauseam. Also, we hope we don't get hit with this card spell, which is duh. So he hits us for 6. He could have main phase popped the spell bomb and hit us for 8. I'm not really sure why he didn't. Anyway, yeah, he puts another Lingering Souls, a Path to Exile, and a Shambling Vents in the graveyard. And he second main Nihil Spell Bombs. I guess he wanted to try to draw a discard spell, like find it with Flare and then draw it off the spell bomb. Which, okay, that makes more sense. That's why he did that. And puts another creature into play. So now we're looking at facing down lethal, and we did just bottom an Angel's Grace, which maybe we should have kept it just in case we have to burn Angel's Grace to not die. Or we had a backup against discard. But if he had discard, he almost certainly would have taken Peer Through Depths. Alright, well, we Lotus. Don't draw land. Since I'm probably going to be dead next turn, and I don't have the backup Angel's Grace, my options here are to just... so I can crack Lotus Bloom for black, cast the Peer Through Depths off the island, and floating enough mana. Alternatively, we could just cast Peer Through Depths with Temple and Island. But if I miss, I kind of want to be able to cast Sleight of Hand. It's a little risky. I think I probably should have just cast the Peer Through Depths off of the 2 blue sources. But yeah, I ended up cracking the Lotus Bloom because I am a novice. But luckily, we found Ad Nauseam. And we have just enough mana to cast Angel's Grace, exile 2 Spirit Guides, and we haven't played a land yet, but even if we had played a land, the Desperate Ritual would allow us to cast our Lightning Storm still. So yeah, we draw our whole deck, and he concedes. Game 2. Alright, so let's look at our sideboard, tell you how I sideboarded. Pact of Negation, again, is not very good in these matchups that revolve around your opponent having discard effects. So I like to board those out unless my opponent is something where I absolutely need to Pact of Negation, or if they are playing a lot of counter spells. We boarded in the 4 Leyline of Sanctity, the Damnation. The Slaughter Pact is not very good in the matchup, I don't believe, so I did board that out. He has Tarmogoyf is the only real card. You know, they could have something like Aethersworn Canonist or something out of the sideboard, but I don't feel like that's a card that they have access to most of the time. Yeah, that's how we sideboarded. We also boarded out 1 on life, and what did I board in? Well, let me figure out the other card. Alright, the Damnation, and I think maybe I boarded in the Timely Reinforcements just to... No. Okay. So I guess 3 Pact of Negation and a Slaughter Pact for 4 Leyline, and then one other card came out for the Damnation. What was it? I'm stupid. You guys probably figured it out. Alright, so let's go to game 2. This hand is pretty good. The Leyline of Sanctity is going to brick off a lot of his stuff. If we fall too far behind, the Damnation can buy us some extra time. Hopefully the Temple of Enlightenment can find us a land. Yeah, so we're going to keep it, just mostly because of the Leyline, but you know, we do have 3 mana sources and half the combo and a dig spell, so we're really just looking for mana and Ad Nauseam. But we're protected mostly from some of the stuff that could be bad for us. Alright, well, we hit another land. We do need the mana, so we are just going to keep it. Alright, he fetches. Didn't play anything turn 1, assuming that he has discard in hand that he can't play. Stony Silence does shut down 7 of our mana sources, so we do just have to draw lands, which is another reason, I guess, we decided to keep the fetch land on top. Yeah, we're just gonna try to play this Peer Through Depths. Find Ad Nauseam, hopefully. We do. Take that. The rest on bottom. And he hits Surgical on our Peer Through Depths, but that's not too bad. Alright, we're 1 mana short of being able to combo, so we're just going to try to draw a land. He has seen our hand, So he knows that if we draw a land, he's dead, and we're under no pressure still, so that's good. Yep, not really afraid of anything from him right here, so we just go 2 Spirit Guides. He knows that he's going to die, so we just go for that and kill him. We got really lucky here just drawing a couple lands in a row to be able to naturally combo off, and found the Ad Nauseam pretty quickly, but you know, he probably kept a hand with a bunch of discard spells because that's how you interact with Jund and Abzan against these combo decks. But Leyline of Sanctity luckily bricks off those. It also bricks off Liliana's ultimate, which is nice. So anyway, that was round 2. We'll be right back for a third round in just a minute.